A very brief, I promise to keep it brief, sharing with you about the freedom of religion. I had the privilege in the 90s of living in Sacramento, California, when the Soviet Union fell, and the first wave of immigrants came to the land of the free and the home of the brave. And these folks came from the stands, from Georgia, from Siberia, where they've been in the camps. And as you know, under communist rule, freedom of religion was forbidden. These people were persecuted. They were murdered. They were dragged from their homes because they dared worship our Lord. I'm not going to get through this without crying, I'm sorry. But when these people hit Sacramento, California, the first thing they did was pool their meager resources. And they bought an old, broken-down country western honky-tonk. And they built a church right across from my neighborhood. And that parking lot was 3 times the size of this one, and it was packed 7 days a week. You could hear the bells, you could hear the music from my little neighborhood. And sometimes the parking lot was so full, they would park in my neighborhood and they would walk across a 4-lane road like we have out here to get to church. The second thing they did was baptize their children and their young people who had not been able to be baptized. And by the way, it was the babushkas and the bushes, the World War II generation, who kept the faith alive through all those years of repression and persecution. And when they came to America, they went to the North Fork of the American River, and they clothed their children in white robes, and they took them and they immersed them in that cold water. And I was privileged to be there as one of the neighbors that had helped them settle and acclimate. And when those children and those young people came up out of that cold water, their white robes were wet and it was plastered to them. And there must have been 500 people gathered on that riverside, and they burst into song in Russian. I only speak one word of Russian, Das Vidanya. I didn't know what they were saying, but I knew the tune. And so I sang in English, as they sang in Russian. And you know what they were singing? I know that my Redeemer lives. And that, my friends, is why we service people do what we do. Because around the world, people still look to the United States of America for freedom of worship. We are still the land of the free and the home of the brave because of the brave. And I look at our empty churches and our empty parking lots and I just cry. Because I know what it means to all the oppressed people of the world to look to us and what we have and what we take so for granted. So I ask you today, please, as you go to your homes, as you go to your families, as you celebrate your Thanksgiving this month, remember those who are still persecuted, who are still tortured, who still cannot worship freely, and give thanks for the land of the free and the home of the brave, because I have seen firsthand what it means to the oppressed people of the world when they are free to come to America and worship our Savior. I've seen it. Thank you.